What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So my name's Dave and I make content around running, shoe reviews and my life. And the shoe that I've got with me today has been given the update of the century. Same, but very different. I've got with me, of course, the Brooks Hyperion Elite 4 PB. And it's in for full review.
Yeah, hey, look, whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Look, hey, I've been talking the truth in the zone. Yeah. I was calling them too, but they gone. I have nothing to do with no phonies. I'm only gonna give them the real on the song.
As a disclaimer, guys, Brooks, they were nice enough to send me this shoe for the purpose of review, but that doesn't mean they'll have any influence on what I have to say in this video, and they definitely won't be viewing it until it is posted for you guys here on YouTube. And another disclaimer, guys, take what I say with a pinch of salt. This is entirely my own opinion. What shoes work really well for me might not work well for you at all. The best thing you can do is go into your local running store, chat to a professional, try a whole bunch of different shoes on, and then happy days. For today's full review, I'm gonna be talking all things Hyperion Elite 4 PB. So I'm gonna be talking about my comparisons to the original Hyperion Elite 4. I'm gonna be talking about the specs, what has changed, and would I recommend the shoe. This is Brooks' go-to race day option, but does it have what it takes to compete with the big dogs on the market? Let's chat. So it's described by Brooks on their website as designed by the pros for next level speed for road races, featuring fine-tuned propulsion with a carbon plate, race-ready streamlined fits, and lightweight and responsive DNA gold cushioning. This shoe, it comes with a massive update, and no, I am not just talking about the colorway. It's actually got no change to the aesthetic or the upper construction at all. I'm talking, of course, about the midsole. So it's all in the foam. So the Elite 4 PB now comes with the all new DNA Gold 100% PEBA cushioning, which is the lightest, softest, and highest energy return foam Brooks has ever made. One of the greatest letdowns about the Brooks Super Shoe lineup is that they weren't innovating their foams to match the other brands in the competitive market. With this update, they have finally taken on board what we've all been asking for, and they've given us 100% PEBA midsole. With that being said, it is a slightly firmer construction, so it is still keeping in trend with the Brooks lineup of, me personally, I think that they are a little bit firmer, or on the firmer side, and it seems they've done the same thing with this PEBA compound, but it comes with amazing energy return. And I think the durability, it's gonna be decent. If it's anything like the previous iteration, so just the Hyperion Elite 4, then I think that the traction is gonna hold up really well, and hopefully the durability is decent. I mean, I did have problems with the previous iteration having a hole or a tear in the upper just there, although I was wearing half a size too small, I think, so I think that contributed to it as well a little bit. So it comes in at the same price as the older version, so 350 Australian dollars, which I think is slightly still overpriced even with the updated midsole, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later in the video. Let's get into the good stuff. So how does it feel underfoot? So starting off with the upper, I think this is possibly the most comfortable upper I've ever worn on a race shoe. And I really loved the previous iteration of this. Well, it is pretty much the exact same shoe, just with a different midsole. And yeah, just wearing this again, I hadn't worn the previous one since last January or last February of last year. So yeah, it was just a really good reminder of just how comfortable this upper is. You can see the woven mesh, it is really stretchy, so you can really spread your toes out, which is obviously something that I really enjoy. If you guys have watched any of my previous videos, it's something that I always like to comment on about shoes. The only other shoe that I could probably compare this to comfort-wise would maybe be the Alphafly 3. I think that sock upper is just, yeah, it's unmatched, but I think this might match it. I know I just said it's unmatched, but yeah, you guys get what I mean. It's up there. It's definitely up there. So the energy return on this shoe, it really surprised me. Like, it's really snappy, but in a way that kind of pushes you forward. It's just soft enough that you're still feeling a little bit of cushion, but without sinking into it. It's the perfect shoe for shorter reps and races like the 5K and 10K in my opinion. I raced a 5K on the track and it felt like this was the perfect use case for this shoe. No PBs for me, but I'm confident that this will be the piece of kit that will get me my next one. Sub 16 maybe? I don't know. The lockdown on the shoe, as I've spoken about in the previous iteration, is really, really good. The tongue is really minimal and comfortable, just a little bit of padding there. And of course, you know we love the ribbed laces here on the channel. You just can't go wrong with these. The day before I use them, I'm not sure why more shoes don't go with these ribbed laces. These are not coming undone. It's got a less aggressive rocker than most other super shoes. That gives it a bit of a flat vibe, almost like an old racing flat kind of vibe in a super shoe kind of way, if that makes sense. And it's got a really wide base, which was really accommodating for my rickety ankles. And the shoe, I would say, is quite stable overall. But to summarize, this is an outstanding track shoe. I mean, obviously if you're wearing spikes, you might be better off wearing those. But if you're like me and you're just wearing one of your road shoes on the track, then I think this is gonna be a really great pick. This is also awesome, just absolutely awesome for reps during training. And of course, like I said before, I would reach for these for the 5 and the 10K races. Absolutely, probably over any other shoe that I own at the moment. But in saying that, a lot of short talk, and I'm not talking about my height. Talking about the distance, these, yeah, I think that they definitely shine over the shorter distances, but I'm not really confident in these at the longer stuff, and I'll explain why. I wore these for a Sunday long run session the other week. The group, they had 3x7K, I did 2x7K, and I ultimately chose to wear these shoes, which I was really, really excited to wear, and they felt okay on the warm-up, running easy for about 7Ks. They felt really good for the 7K efforts, but then I did about an 8K cool down to finish off to 30K. And during that 8K cool down, when I was jogging, you know, reasonably slow at an easy pace, these just did not feel good. My feet were hurting, my knees were hurting, and I know it is a super shoe and they're not really made to jog in, but they really didn't feel like they had enough underfoot to protect my feet after, you know, 2 hours plus deep into a long run. So it didn't really give me much confidence in thinking that I would wear these for a marathon. Like, I probably couldn't think of anything worse, to be honest. I just don't think it has the cushioning and what I would want from a shoe in the deep end of a marathon or even like a long run, if that makes sense. Another thing was my Achilles was actually starting to get irritated. Sounds like a me issue, I know. I don't really feel any of that irritation on my Achilles when I'm running faster. It was more just when I was running slower. So yeah, I guess it just goes to show that it's probably not the best shoe to go jogging around in. It is a bit flatter, it is a bit firmer, but if that's your secret sauce and you love that shit, then I think this shoe is gonna be good for you. So would I recommend this shoe? To be honest, not for the longer stuff, if that's what you're looking for. Regarding the price, I think that there are other shoes out there that are more versatile for the price that this is. Like, there are some other shoes on the market for a similar price that you're gonna be able to wear for pretty much every distance. But if you're like me, you're probably only gonna get the shorter stuff, the shorter reps, shorter races out of these shoes. So if you want something that's a bit more bang for your buck and something you can literally do anything in, then this probably isn't gonna be the shoe for you. But I've learned from doing shoe reviews and from people commenting on those shoe reviews when, you know, I have an opinion about a shoe and they let me know that, you know, if I've said a shoe wasn't my favorite shoe and why, they counter my argument with some really good points. Like, where I've said a shoe feels too firm and feels dead, they said that it really worked well for them and their heavier runners build, which obviously I'm not gonna be able to relate to or experience. So I'm only as good as my own opinion and my own experiences. That's just why, you know, it is such a good idea to just go to a running store and try these shoes out for yourself. Or, you know, try to find a reviewer that has a similar build to you, because then they're probably gonna have similar opinions, possibly. So I say all of that to say that this might be another one of those cases, but if you're looking for a snappy, quick little number to send your next park run or 10K, then I think you're really gonna like this one. This is one of those shoes that you'll retire from races and it'll just become the ultimate rep shoe in training. Or you can be like me and just use it for both. So is it competitive? I think absolutely it's competitive. I would have no problem picking this shoe for races all the way up to the half marathon. It's an incredible session shoe, which I think is really important these days. Hence why I really love the New Balance Elite V4. I think everybody needs a shoe like this in their rotation. And let's not forget that the Hyperion Elite 5 is apparently dropping sometime this year. If it's anything like the Hyperion Elite 4 PB, then I think we're gonna get along just fine. Let's hope that they can add a little bit more cushion though, and maybe accommodate for the longer stuff, and then we're gonna be just fine. It is a massive let's go for Brooks. But that is gonna conclude the full review of the Brooks Hyperion Elite 4 PB. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel and share this to your running buddies or anybody that you think would enjoy this shoe or this video or my channel or anything. But once again, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.